Welcome to another edition of the Monday Report here on InsideTheGrove.com. We're back on the green couch again. I'm Ty, he's Chase, and it's a big day in Rebel Athletics because it's media day for the Ole Miss baseball team. We're getting ready to go up and talk to Mike Bianco and the rest of the fellas here at noon, and we're going to do a very abbreviated version of the Monday Report today so we can come back, shoot some more video, and put some clips of Mike Bianco and the players in a post-Monday edition report that's coming this afternoon. But Chase, we're just going to dive right into it, do some quick hitters this weekend on the weekend that was in Rebel Athletics. And starting out with the men's basketball team, not as good of a Valentine's Day performance this year down in Baton Rouge as 2 years ago. The team was up 9 points with 8 minutes to go. They wind up losing by 7. Chase, the Rebels are now 13-11 overall and in 8th place in the SEC. Is it time to start getting excited about next season when Chris Warren comes back?
Well, it really asked me to get after Saturday. They've got one more week to kind of right the ship here and keep those NIT aspirations alive. They've got Tennessee at home on Wednesday night and then Georgia on Saturday. 2 winnable games, especially Georgia. If they run the table, they're back to 500 in the league, and you just go into a very favorable end-of-the-year run here. But this is very much crunch time for Ole Miss, and if one slip here, and that might be night-night to postseason hopes.
Certainly. Not over yet, but it's certainly getting dangerously close. Now let's kind of roll right into the weekend that was in men's tennis. Billy Chadwick and the boys were up for the ITA National Indoors, but there was something that happened Friday, Chase, kind of threw a wrench in things.
Well, it was. They played USC Friday at noon, the number 6 ranked team in the country, Ole Miss at number 9, and about half the team had the flu. Callie Norberg didn't play all weekend, and the Trojans kind of just ran over Ole Miss 4-0 because of the illness and some other things. But then Ole Miss does come back. They play number 16 Florida State on Saturday and win 4-1, and then face SEC and number 7 ranked Florida on Sunday and win 4-1 again. So maybe they've righted the ship, they can get over that illness, and now they go play Baylor, another top 10 team in the country, next week.
Very nice to see some resiliency from the tennis team after what happened Friday with that match against USC. Now, the women's tennis team also enjoyed some success this weekend. They were home and hosted Iowa on Sunday, and the Lady Rebels and Coach Mark Byers got their second consecutive win. They're back to 2-2 on the season. They avenged last season's loss to Iowa by beating the Lady Hawkeyes 6-1, and the Ole Miss women's tennis team is now 13-1 in their last 2 matches, with the only loss coming at number 1 singles.
It was. Men's golf in Gainesville over the weekend for the Gator Invitational. Finished second out of a pretty stacked field. They had 10 teams ranked in the top 50, Ole Miss at 35. They went kind of wire to wire in second place. The Gators ran away with the tournament, but they held off Central Florida, Florida State, and Duke in that top 5. They also beat SEC members Mississippi State and LSU, so a really good start to the spring season for Ernest Ross and the guys.
Great weekend for the golf team. Moving right into women's basketball, another tough game for Renee Ladner and her bunch. They traveled to Fayetteville this weekend. They were down 16 points at halftime and made a nice little rally to kind of get back in things. Wound up losing by 11. But, kind of same deal, Chase. They're right around. They've got double-digit losses now, I believe, 15-11. It's really crunch time for Renee Ladner's girls.
It is. They don't have a very easy stretch going to the end of the season, too. And it's just certain periods that they have certain little lapses that are killing their season. So they really do. They have to focus and get a 40-minute game in, because right now that 35-minute game just doesn't work in the SEC.
That's the truth. And, the softball team, another good weekend for the girls. A week after taking 2 out of 3 from number 6 Louisiana Lafayette, they head to Texas and do some pretty good things over there in the Lone Star State.
They did. They went 3-2 on the weekend, so now they're 5-3 on the season. Lost a tough one to Baylor, but Lauren Grill bounced back from her rough week. She was 1 for 12 the first weekend against Ooh La La. She comes back last week, hits 400. Her and pitcher Becky Nye make the all-tournament team. And Ole Miss is still right there. And then for early season, probably one of the better starts to Ole Miss in program history.
Just to kind of wrap things up here now, the Ole Miss rifle team won the NCAA sectional qualifier in Oxford over the weekend, but it's still to be determined whether the team is going to make the NCAA championships at the end of the month. Right now, things look good. Got a win over Memphis, UAB this weekend, so expect the women's rifle team to be in the NCAAs when it's all said and done, but that is still to be determined. That's going to do it for this edition of the Monday Report. We encourage everyone to check back at InsideTheGrove.com later this afternoon because, as we said, we will be bringing you coverage from Media Days, the South End Zone, for Mike Bianco and the Ole Miss baseball team. So be sure to check back for all your baseball coverage here on InsideTheGrove.com.